80s. Yeah, I think it was the last time we played there.
I think I do remember that.
We played down there.
Yeah.
We played a couple down there. You know what song I remember us playing down there of all songs? That Free Man, maybe?
Yeah.
Or there's another
So
song.
I can't understand it.
That is. That's it. For some reason, I remember that. I think we did that. I may be dreaming.
Yep. That's what I remember, too. I mean,
These days, I can't remember where I had lunch yesterday. I got CRS. Can't remember shit.
Yeah.
And that's the truth.
It happens.
It's the truth. I said,
It
there you go.
does.
She'll look at me and say, you know, you told me that yesterday. I did. She said, yeah. I went, oh, okay. Sorry.
That's all right. As long as you remember enough to tell it, you know, you're doing good.
Your name's Michelle. I can remember that.
Yeah.
We're good. We're good. Don't ask me for any more. What a beautiful place. We got lucky on the weather, too.
Absolutely.
I mean, you could, this is.
Worked out perfect.
This is absolutely.
The backlighting.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming and doing this. This is amazing.
We appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you guys. I can remember, you know, being a little boy. You guys have been doing this for how long?
Gosh, it was 1972 is when, I know when Mike and Stevie.
Yep.
1972. Wow.
Follies, right? And Rob came in.
Before that, yeah, it was 71.
Yep. We started playing about the time of Follies, didn't we?
Yep.
72.
That's it.
I can remember. I was born in 86, and I just remember coming up, and every time you guys would play somewhere, my dad would want to be there. He was a big Q106 listener. He wanted to go see Stillwater. He wanted to go see Wet Willie. I can just remember you guys. Yep. I mean,
we did a reunion back then.
Yeah.
At the Whiskey River once a year.
Okay. Yes. I can remember he wanted to go to that.
Yep.
Oh, he was big on that. He wasn't going to miss that.
That was a lot. We did that for about almost 40 years.
Wow.
We did that. And then COVID hit. We played for Doc a couple of times down at his farm and raised money for the Museum of Aviation and raised quite a sum of money. And we started doing that. And then after COVID hit, we just kind of backed off. You know, if CB gets well and everybody wants to, we may try to throw the band together one more time.
Absolutely.
Play a couple of times and play a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that would be fantastic.
That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
It would be so much fun.
Get Jimmy Hall to come down with Wet Willie and see if he'll sing. Got some other guys, and got Kentucky Headhunter. Greg Mark plays guitar. He said he wants to come. And then maybe Jack Pearson.
It's so funny because that you mentioned them, because I have been trying to get in touch with Doug Phelps for
I got Greg's number.
About 6 months. And I think it's just because I've been going through Facebook and, you know, they probably don't even check those messages. But I went to see the Kentucky Headhunters at Cox Capitol Theater. That was right before COVID hit.
Okay,
they played down there. And, man, that was a good show.
They're great.
That was so much fun. And they're such funny guys because
they are hilarious.
Because the first time I ever met them, it was Doug and his brother. What's his
brother that plays?
It's
Richard.
Ricky Lee.
Yeah.
So Doug and Ricky Lee came because you know they branched off for a little while and were Brother Phelps. And they had a couple of albums.
That's right.
Brother Phelps. And anyway, so when they came into the studio, they're huge Allman Brothers fans. So they wanted to go see Greg's grave.
Yep.
I mean, Dwayne's grave, because Greg wasn't passed away then. They wanted to go see Dwayne's grave, and they ended up going down there at like midnight. And this is probably one of the reasons they started making it where you couldn't go down there, and they put the fence up and all that kind of stuff. Yep. But they went down there like in the middle of the night after the show. They played a show, and after the show, they went down there to see Dwayne's grave and hang out. And anyway, I just remember that it was kind of funny hanging out with them. And then I saw them a couple of other times, and I really like Doug a lot.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what Ricky Lee's doing now.
I don't know.
He was a preacher the last time I heard.
Wow.
He was down in Florida preaching.
That's great.
Wow.
But I don't know if he's still doing that or what.
I think it's Greg and his Richard, and Doug and the drummer. That's it. They sound good. Wow.
Doug's really good.
Yeah. And Greg is too on guitar.
Yeah.
Him and Jimmy Hall did a thing called the Jeremiah.
Oh,
What was it?
Mighty Jeremiah.
Mighty Jeremiah. Yeah, they did it like kind of like a Christian album. And boy, it sounds incredible. Wow. Greg's a great guitarist.
Mm-hmm.
I think his tone, one of my favorite tones, it's just thick. When he plays, so good. I got to sit in with him a couple times. I love it.
Was it down in Cordele or
Went
something?
to Cordele, yeah, and then went up to North Georgia with Doc. We rode up there, and we sat in up there, and somewhere up by Atlanta, went up there and played with them. And they're just fun guys.
Of course, they came down to the Crazy Bowl that time.
Yeah.
Well, at least
Greg came
Greg
and sat in
came.
with us one of the last times we played together. He came and played, and
that was awesome.
it was awesome.
What a rig! He had that
He got a 50-watt Marshall.
vintage Marshall. Yeah.
and it's loud. And they had him coming through the monitor. It was loud, but man, his tone and touch is so good.
Well, this is the Old Boots podcast with Justin Kelly and Laura Starling and our special guest, Mike Causey, Rob Walker of Stillwater.
All right.
All righty.
Good to be here. But
We're glad to have y'all.
That and $1 get you a cup of coffee.
There you go.
So you guys got together in the 70s. Well, did you know each other before you started playing?
Yep. Yes.
that's it.
We were doing the Follies thing down in Warren Robins at the high school, Warren Robins High School. Stevie went to Northside, and we were all in different bands. You know, Al was in a band, Scarborough, and Stevie had the Prisoner's Time, him and Mark Crumpton. And we had a band and called the Timepiece. Jimmy Hall was in that, our Jimmy Hall, not the one for Wet Willie.
Yeah, so you always have to make that distinction.
Yeah.
There's two Jimmy Halls.
There's two Jimmy Halls.
One that played with Stillwater and one that
That's right.
played
with Wet Willie.
with Wet Willie.
And we started, Flip Jones and some of those guys were older than us, and they did the music for the Follies. Follies like a giant talent
Variety
show
show kind of thing.
Bobby East was in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
really?
Bobby, I remember watching Bobby and Derek Trucks, and both of them hit me the same. Bobby was just made to be on stage. I saw it in high school, and like, it was like amazing when she hit the stage and she could remember all those lines, and just all of a sudden it was like, how do you do that? And it was like, and then I saw Derek Trucks when he was about 12 or 13 and make him, and it was like, he was 12 or 13, had a Braves cap on. He's playing slide, and I was standing right me to you from him in front of the stage going, he sounded like, and I was probably about 40.
Right.
And I said, this guy sounds like somebody that's 70 years old, been playing all his life. And
He's got
he's
it.
12 years old. It's like unbelievable.
I have heard many a story about Derek Trucks playing over here at the Georgia Rib Shack for Bill Luckadoo out here. And
Oh,
live
yeah.
music, man. I have heard he was young and could just kill it. I
He-
mean, like he had been doing it, you know, for, like you said, like a 40-year plus veteran.
He was unbelievable. I mean, his touch and tone just, I mean, and that's why he is the way he is today, but they're from different planets. I mean, they're not from here. They're from somewhere else.
That's right.
You know, but we met back then, started doing the music, and then Rob moved to town, and thank God he moved to town.
No.
And it's funny, we had the Follies, and Mr. Barnes, who put it on. He turned about to be a multi-millionaire now, lives up in Chattanooga, but he was sitting there, and I was sitting next to him, and Rob had to audition. I don't know why, but he came up and played. What'd you play?
I played Jeff's Boogie. You know,
Yeah.
it was from the Yardbirds, you know, and I just remembered that I'd come there to audition. A friend of mine was a singer, and he said, would you mind playing for my audition? And so we worked up the tune, and I came and played it for Mr. Barnes, you know, and then right afterwards, I was just excited to be there just to be an accompanist, you know, but then Mr. Barnes, he said, would you be interested in auditioning for the band? You know, and I was like, sure, you know, that'd be great. And he said, well, put your gear up on the stage and then we'll get to you in a few minutes. So it was just like, it took forever. I just remember, and I couldn't figure out why Mr. Barnes wasn't, you know.
Yeah.
And my poor dad, he was trying to get me to leave, you know. And I was begging him, I said, let me stay. So eventually it came out where I finally got to play, but I was a nervous wreck. because all my gear was up on the stage, and I couldn't hear because all the other kids were doing different auditions.
Right.
And I was saying, I don't know what I'm going to play, And I just remember I'd worked on that Jeff Boogie, and I played that for him, and that's where I met Mike. That was the night I met Mike, because he came up and he said afterwards, we talked and found out we were both guitar players. And
I remember sitting next to Barnes for some reason. I had no business being there, but I was sitting there, and he goes, "Lad, what do you think?" I said, "Get him." I said, "Yeah, he qualifies." And then Rob and Eddie Stone wound up they were kind of the guys that kind of led us in the music, and I'd come in and play, but we had and CB played drums some, and we did a Beatles thing melody, me and Eddie.
That was cool.
CB and Danny Ford.
Mm-hmm.
We did a Beatles melody and they had a music part and had kind of like a part with it.
So this is all in high school.
This is all in high school.
It was an amazing production, though, for the time.
It was amazing production.
Ronald Barnes was just such a great
They'd take like 6
organizer.
months and work on it, and they'd have 4 or 5 nights where it sold out, and we played. Then we started playing and had the stage band.
Yeah, we just kind of went. We kind of went by stage band at first, and then changed the name a little bit later. But it was fun. We got a lot of gigs, out of just doing the stage band thing. I remember we used to play.
So what are
Mike's Heidelberg.
What are the chances that a bunch of guys are in high school together, and then you're all still around later,
50 years
to
later,
form a band and still play now?
It's a godsend for sure.
It's
We
God,
be able to be together this long.
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember doing a cruise a couple of years ago where they had all these Southern rock bands, and there's like only one surviving member of
every band.
It was sad, really, to see. And I think about most of us are still here.
Yeah, all of us.
We were blessed.
Except our keyboard, Bob Spearman. Bob had cancer back in the early 90s. And our Jimmy Hall, Stevie Lacey. Stevie plays golf, but he's fighting. He's fighting some health issues right now. We're praying, and hopefully that's going to get better. Mm-hmm. Bobby's lived in Perry. Bobby Golden. Al Scarver's more Robbins, bass player, and Bobby played guitar. And Al is retired postman, just retired about 2 months ago. And he plays with about 7 bands. Everybody wants. He plays with the Grapevine. He plays with all kind of bands.
He's an energizer, buddy. He just keeps going.
He keeps going. But it was so cool because we started just playing Allman Brothers stuff back then, and they were kind of getting their peak. And then we had I think we called it Highway.
Yep.
And I got a little amp, and some of the guys, they stenciled Highway on the back of my amp.
A road crew, Ernie.
I don't know if I wanted that on the back of my amp, but it's still there.
Ernie
and I still got that amp. So, and we wound up playing anywhere in town. We played down on Front Street. Nobody went to Front Street back then. It was like the Dive, and we found a little club down there, that little bar, and we go down there and play. And that guy didn't know what to think because all of a sudden about 300 kids showed up at his place, and he sold out a beer, and he's like, "Y'all want to play next week? Y'all play all summer," and we about did. Yeah. And then we even wound up playing in the concession stand at Warner Robins football stadium. Wow. We set up in there one afternoon and played, and I don't know what for.
Yeah, we just wanted to play.
We just wanted to play. We played anywhere and everywhere.
That was fun, though.
And then we went to Brunswick and played that summer. And we played a little dive down there called the Red Carpet Inn, and it's still there. It's a strip joint now. It wasn't much better than that when we played. We played 2 weeks down there, and that was a very memorable trip.
Oh gosh!
And then Eddie got drafted. Eddie Stone got drafted, and we were gonna. We didn't want Eddie to go in the service. He didn't want to go. Back then, but his number was high, and he was going to go. So we had a friend of ours, Rusty Cooper, that was hanging out with us. And Rusty, they were going to break his leg, so he wouldn't have to go.
Oh my goodness!
Oh man!
So we got finished playing one night, and we had a little band house that let us stay in. And we rode around because we was like, man, I don't be home when they break his dang leg. And Rusty was going to jump on it, break it, keep Eddie from going in the service. We came back, And we came in the house about 2 o'clock in the morning, 3, and nobody's there. And I'm thinking, I guess they're at the hospital. By that time, they come walking in, Rusty and Eddie. And I look at him, I'm going, what happened? And Rusty said, I couldn't do it.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness,
He was
man.
shaking like a fish out of water. And so Eddie got drafted. And then Steve and I always talked about wanting to play full time. And I went to Georgia College, and he went to Southwestern, I think. And then I ran into Bobby Golden. And Bobby and I were jamming in the dorm room for one afternoon all day. And he said, then he came up to me about a week or two later and said, we're going to go full time. Do you want to go? I said, I'm in. And I called Stevie because I wasn't going to do very well at college anyhow. I wasn't college material.
You felt that was coming, huh?
Yeah, I knew. I told my parents, I said, look, let me try this for a year or so, and if it doesn't work, I'll go back to college.
Right.
Never look back. And I just wanted to play. That's all I wanted to do.
Oh, yeah.
Personally. And then we played for a couple of years, and Rob was in college. We went and snatched him out of college.
That was a wonderful thing. I remember seeing them, because I was a year behind those guys.
Yep.
And I finished out. I did the Follies one more year.
Yep.
And then when I went to college, I remember going to see them play. I think the first time I saw it was at Jack's Supper Club in Warner Robins. And I was like, oh, God, these guys are good, I couldn't believe it, that they really had a distinctive sound, And I saw them again at the Perry High School. We all played down there. I never forget seeing y'all doing, what was that? Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
That song back then. It was just monstrous. It sounded huge. I remember in there, Bob Spearman playing that Moog bass and then Al playing man, y'all sounded wonderful. And I remember saying to CB, he said, man, he asked me about if I was playing, and I said, no, not much. And I said, man, if I had a chance to play with you guys, I'd play Mickey Mouse ukulele behind the speakers. I wouldn't care, and so it wasn't too long after that when y'all came down, and
Well,
said,
Mike always tells me that you're the premier guitar player.
no.
But then,
But God bless. I'm glad to be amongst them, though, because I mean,
he is.
we all are a blessing to each other. I know. I mean, Mike and Bobby sounded so good together. I remember, and I was just glad to jump in the mix.
We were glad, like I say, Rob, being Bobby, we're okay at what we do. Rob is he just got that little bit of edge, It's like a great golfer. He's like a Scheffler, and the rest of us are kind of, But but we were, like I say, we got Al. Al wasn't. Bobby's brother played bass, and
so basically you went and ruined everybody's higher education.
Yeah, we did.
That's right. Yeah,
to form a rock and roll band.
You
That's
got.
what you did.
Well, that's right. Yep, exactly.
More power to you.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did. And I knew going to college. I remember the woman in the English class. She said, "Close your eyes and imagine something." I closed my eyes, was leaning back. Next thing I know, she goes, Mr. Causey, are you with us? I woke up. I went, "Oh yeah, yeah." I fell in a deep sleep. I probably up all night playing.
Oh yeah.
And so it was. It was just. I look back on it now, and it's just amazing that all the got to think is God thing, because everything just kind of fell into place.
Yeah.
Sure did, man.
It was. We got Al, and that was a step up. And Bobby's brother wasn't really great bass player, nice guy. And then we got Rob, and that was just icing on the cake. And then we started, we were writing and plus doing other people's songs. And then Rob came and we got the fortunate to work with a guy named Buddy Bowie. And we needed a producer. We played around making a bunch, played at Lakeside out there. And Bobby Whitlock from Eric Clapton's band played Derek and Dominoes. He came out there. Greg and Dickie.
Charlie
Daniels.
I
really
forgot about that.
Everybody. Skinner was out there. They didn't play, but they were there.
Yeah.
And it was a kind of a mecca back then. And we were the house band kind of playing.
was a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah. And then we played at Uncle Sam, out on Great Highway, which is now the Moose Club. And we played there for a couple of years. And then when we weren't playing there, we'd go all over the Southeast and play. And we crowded in a car, in a Pontiac, I think 4 in the front and 4 in the back seat, and rode to Virginia. First time we kind of been out of the South. We went to Blacksburg, Virginia to college. We played a little club that used to be our church. A friend of ours, Steve McBroom, he became a friend. He owned it. And we played there, and you just thought we were the Beatles. I mean, those college kids, they came, and we weren't much older, but they come, and it was so bizarre.
It was an amazing place. 117 South Main up in Blacksburg, Virginia. Really cool little place.
I think remember the address.
What's that? Oh, I do. Yeah, because that was the name of the club. Yeah.
Oh,
oddly enough.
Okay.
117 South Main. Yeah, but it was really a good college hangout, and it was an old church. I mean, really old church, like from, I don't know, 1800s.
Yep.
And I can remember when we'd be playing, all the kids would be on the second level of the church, and you could see the floor going up and down in time with the music. It was scary in a way.
It was.
Ooh-wee.
And Mike, boy, I remember you getting up on that. It was so crowded, and you had to get on the table.
We had to set up
just stuck away from the stage.
For the stage.
Right.
And me and Bobby were on the table, and then there was another table, and we had a song at the end called Sam's Jam.
That's
I'd go out there and get on the table, kind of showboat a little bit.
He tore it up.
People like that. It's kind of like Skinner's Freebird. Is a long solo, and I fortunately got to play on it, and people liked it.
Right. It really
so we could kind of get them going, with that. But that was first time we really played out. We played all around Florida, Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee. But we went to Virginia, and to me, it felt like I was going up north somewhere. That was the
farthest north we'd gone at that point.
And that was so exciting because they just loved it. And it was like, wow.
So when you guys hop in that Pontiac, I mean, I guess everybody just throws their stuff in the trunk and you're just relying on the sound equipment that they've got there, and you're just going to make the best with it.
4 people in the car, each seat. We were like this right here, riding up to Virginia.
On a budget, baby.
Yeah. I lived on bologna and mustard sandwiches.
I hear you.
For about 10 years. Best thing that happened, I got a real job.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
But it was, like I say, it's a blessing now to look back, and like I say, everybody's somewhat healthy, and we're still here, and so it's got a guy that's in California. His dad hung out with us, and his dad passed away, but he's been contacting me. He wants to try to do a documentary. I don't know if we'll get anywhere or not, but I'm talking to him, and kind of fun,
Absolutely.
We're going to ping off the real Stillwater from Almost Famous.
Right.
The real band.
So was the Stillwater in the movie was loosely based on you guys.
Not really.
Not real. Well,
but they wanted to use the name.
But they wanted to use.
They really, for some odd reason, they really wanted to use the name Stillwater.
We had the name, but we didn't really have any. I don't think we had any rights on the name.
No.
But they paid us a little money to keep us from suing them, I think.
That's it. That's what it was. Yeah.
So we talked to our attorney, which was in Atlanta, and tried to get a song in the movie. But his wife wrote, Cameron Crowe. And I think, and I get it. They wanted to keep their music, and they get the royalties off of it. But, so they used our name, and it was just coincidental, I think. But, so, and, but we got a lot of people kind of like, is that about y'all? And it really is not.
But it's really not.
But I will tell you, in the movie, the guy jumps into a swimming pool. When we first started out, we went over to a hotel somewhere. We were staying over in Alabama. And CB jumped off the first floor into the pool. And I was going to, and I went up there. I was chicken. I went, I can't do that. I was scared. And I think he was going to go up to second level and jump off.
Oh, my God.
And it was at night. And the ladies that were cleaning the rooms were kind of looking at us like, y'all are nuts. And kind of like trying to talk him out of it. And he didn't, I don't remember if he jumped off that or not, but he jumped off, and I was like, wow, he hit the water. So that's coincidental too. I mean, they
Yeah.
had no idea of that, but you know,
That's
it's,
So when
funny.
you guys went to Virginia and you played and then come back to Macon, so how did the name Stillwater come about after that?
well, Bobby and them when we first started they had a name Coldwater Army. That was the name of the band. And we got to the band house, and me and CB and Bobby and Bob and Jimmy, we were trying to think of a name, and that just popped in my head, Stillwater. And I thought of a pond, and just everybody's kind of even keel, and so I just kind of spit it out, and it just kind of stuck.
That was a good
So-
good choice.
Yeah, we played for about 4 or 5 years. You know, we didn't record till '77, I think. Was it
It's
'77?
been a while, yeah. And Bobby and Bob, when it was called Coldwater Army, and they had a couple
Yep.
albums that they did with that group.
Yeah,
Really good.
yeah.
They had a guy in there that eventually went on to Zeke Zerngavel, went on
Yeah.
to play with Warren Zevon, years later. But
He had a couple
It was a
songs
good
on the
band.
Doobie Brothers album. He had a couple songs. on it.
wow, I didn't
That
know
would have
that.
been
Yeah.
sweet.
He told me, I talked to him about
That's so
a
cool.
month ago, 2 months ago, and I'd talked to him since high school. He gave me a little 45, which I love playing.
Yeah, it's the flame.
And I called him and tell him I found it online, was going to send it to him. And he said, I got it. But he said the Doobie Brothers thing paid for his house. He lives in California.
Wow.
He's the only one of us that made any money. The rest of us hadn't made a dime yet.
Nick he did a lot of session work.
Yeah, he did a lot of session work out in California. He's kind of retired. Good player. Great player.
That was the band though, that Coldwater Army. They had those 2 albums out before Stillwater, and then they were playing, and of course all that stuff that Mike told you about. That's how they got together. When he went off to college,
Mhm.
both Mike and Bobby went to college and hooked up there. So, yeah.
So is Mindbender on the first album you guys
Yes,
recorded?
Yep.
1977. That's it. And that was just funny. It was like Mike was talking about before. We just I remember when we set up to play Buddy the tunes that we're going to do for the album, and then he could kind of listen to everything and see what he thought we should do as a producer. And then at that time, he heard us do that tune. We were doing it. Whatever you want to call it, Mom, you got them highs, or
Yeah. Rob.
it was a crazy
Bob.
tune that we used to do that
Yeah.
had the voice box in it. And he said, man, we should do something with it, And then it wasn't until we got into recording mode there, we got finished with all the tracks, He said, we need to go back up. We need to write that song, We started it, I guess. We had started writing it, when we went up to Lake Lanier,
Lanier.
just prior to recording. And anyway, make a long story longer, we just toward the end of recording the rhythm tracks, we got done with the rhythm tracks, and he said, let's go up there and finish that song, And I was like Mike, and secretly in my mind I was thinking, well, I'm going to talk to but we all had so much respect for Buddy, we just we went back up, and it ended up being so much, so amazing to me, and how it all came together.
So isn't that crazy? Because it's really the most famous song,
Yep.
and it's one that
The
you
last one on the
didn't
album.
even really want to record,
Right.
and the last one you put on the album,
Yeah.
and it ends up pretty much being your claim to fame.
That's it.
It is. It is. Buddy kept saying, that's a hit. That's a hit. I was like, I don't get it. That's a hit. He said, that's a hit. That's a hit. And he was right,
Yeah. He knew, man.
But Ra had the riff,
I had that little blues riff that I remember I was trying to teach myself I was trying to play something on my own, like Robert Johnson or sort of thing, and I've been listening to Howlin' Wolf do Evil. I don't know if you know that song.
I don't.
There's evil going on. And I just kind of try to emulate what was going on, in that song, and I just had that riff for a while. And then I finally played it for Buddy when we were writing songs. And play me that Roebuck Staples lick again, because he thought it sounded like Pop Staples, something he would play on guitar, And so that's kind of how the germ of how it started growing into a song there. But
we went to the studio and we'd worked on all of this other stuff for years.
Right.
We worked on these songs. We change them, work on them, change them, work on them. But Mind Bender, like I said, they wrote it, pretty much right at the lake, and we went in and recorded it, and it was just like that. I mean, they did a couple of takes, and that was it. So when you listen to that end solo, that's Rob playing on the first take.
That was it. That was actually
it's live, and so we didn't go back in and overdub or anything.
I was hoping we would.
Yeah.
But he said,
Well,
you can't do it.
nowadays you see, like even with rap music or pop music, they're all using voice boxes, different kind of things. Had you guys heard that done somewhere? Was that a thing back then, or y'all kind of figured out how to make a guitar do that? Or, I mean, is that something homemade? I've never heard anybody else do that. Is that something y'all come up with?
Well, the first time I heard it, I remember listening to Iron Butterfly album.
Okay.
That had, I'm trying to remember the guitar player's name. It's terrible. Mike Panera. Yeah, he did that. And then later, he was using like a little bag,
Right.
that they had invented by that time, the custom company. And anyway, later on, Joe Walsh did it in Rocky Mountain Way.
Gotcha.
And then after that, there was Peter Frampton.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this was probably about a year or so after Peter Frampton had it out. And then Buddy heard me doing it. I was just, the only reason I bought one is because I bought an amplifier from Metro Music in Atlanta. And then it happened to be up there when I did that, and I thought, gee, I'd like to have, I never have messed with one of those. I'd like to mess with that, And so I ended up doing it in that one song that we had. And it just kind of went from there, Buddy decided about wanting to do the song. But I get to answer your question. Yeah. There was some stuff prior to
just
that.
a couple people, and Frampton was like fresh on the scene and doing it that way, and you guys followed that up by like a year or so, right?
Right.
So it had been heard before.
I remember somebody saying in a magazine or something that said "Holy Joe Walsh," because it was like
Holy Joe Walsh.
Yeah, something like that, like "Holy cow, Joe Walsh," and it had those similarities.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in the same key. I remember that.
Yeah, we were in E. Yep.
We were in it, but doggone it.
So that song comes out and it starts going up the chart.
Yep.
What's going on with you guys then? Are you freaking out?
No, because that's what we wanted to do,
Yeah.
I was, back then, I said, we rode Pontiacs. We were over to California, Pontiacs. We wound up in Medford, Oregon. And the tour, we played with Charlie Daniels, and the tour was over, and they ran out of dates, and we had to come home. So we drove nonstop from Medford, Oregon, down to California, took a left on
Warner
10,
Robins.
and went to Warner Robins. Drove straight 54 hours.
Wow.
We stopped, used the bathroom, get something to eat, jump in the car,
Change
ride home.
drivers.
So I always said, if y'all put me in a bus, y'all put me out there 365 days a year, I don't care.
Right.
I'll play every night. And we played a bunch because of that. It started catching on. Phil Walden was working with Jimmy Carter, trying to get him elected. So he had I didn't think his mind was on the business part of it. Mm-hmm. And my thought.
Personal opinion.
Your opinion. Right?
My,
I got you.
and
I got you.
And we saw a bunch of stuff going on that just didn't add up. We just dumb musicians playing. And I kind of go, that doesn't make any sense, And they were just struggling some, and they changed distribution, and a lot of things were going on. And Phil took us in his office one time after the first album, and he played us a clip that was on the BBC. And I remember seeing that, and that's Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
We were doing the end of Sam's Jam. They missed the first part of the song, got the end, but he said, everybody in England loves this. They said that's their favorite thing. And it was us playing the last of that song. And Betty said, we lost Mind Bender. He said, that's our fault. We didn't. We just went on top of our game. And I'm thinking, no big deal. We're going to put out another album. We have another song,
Right.
And we put out the second album, did I Reserve the Right. About a month later, we get a phone call, and they locked the dang doors at Causey. It was like, Now what do we do? You know, so that was kind of the beginning of the end.
You had a hunch something wasn't right.
Yeah, you could just see little things that just didn't make sense.
Right.
You
So,
know?
have you guys played any international shows?
Internet? No, what do you mean?
We played in
Across
Canada.
the pond?
we played in Canada,
we
never got
have.
over there.
Never have.
We would
I'm
love
sorry.
that though. And then boy,
Yeah.
that video that brought the one from Sam's that Mike played the ending of Sam Sham is just like that was a major
Yeah.
thing because I mean it's just Mike just played an awesome. It was a stunning performance, and we got a lot of
I don't know
fan
about
mail
stunning.
from that.
Uh-huh.
It was
Got a lot of fan
horrible.
mail from that from England. It would have been great
Yeah.
to go to England. I always thought
They love Southern rock. Up
Yeah.
north New York loves Southern rock. You know, we played a show with Charlie. The first show we played with him was in Palladium, downtown New York, and we opened the show and everybody loved it. You know, and Mark Farner, who was with
oh yeah, you're talking about Funk. What
Mark
is it?
Farner, Grand Funk.
Grand
He
Funk. Yeah, I could
he
get
was on
one word
his
out.
but he wasn't Southern. He played second on the show, and then it was going to be Charlie. They booed him off stage.
Mm.
They didn't want to hear because it wasn't Southern. And the first night they played him, he made it through it.
Right.
And then the next night we played it out Long Island in some Suffolk arena,
Suffolk Forum, yeah, that
like
was
a
it.
Coliseum.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting on the side of the stage and had the stage up high.
Right.
And he was playing, and they didn't want to hear him. And they started throwing beer bottles at him.
Oh no!
Hit him right in the chest with a beer bottle,
Ooh.
right in the middle of a set. And he took his guitar off and said, maybe next time, and walked off the stage.
He was really gracious about
Yeah,
it.
he was,
but-
you know,
but
and
what a
but
horrible.
later on, they had us playing, they had us playing with people we probably shouldn't have been playing with up north because they didn't want to hear Southern rock. And then we were all kind of going, shit, excuse me, if we go out there, we're going to get hit with bottles.
Yeah.
Scared to death. You know, we played with, who was it, Yorma Kekkonen?
Yeah,
I don't know how
that
to
was
say his name,
hilarious.
but he was-
Ron Delsner, the promoter, came out before we went on, and he said, "Don't take too long between sets or between songs." You know,
Yeah.
he said, "Just keep going." You know? And then, of course, there was a comedian that went on before us, a guy named Uncle Dirty. He went out and he tried to do his bit, and he got booed off. So
Man.
we were terrified, man. We were like, man, you got to be kidding me.
That was a tough crowd.
Yeah,
Oh.
I guess hot tuna was a really big item, you
Yeah.
know, over there back then, and they had a big fan base in New York.
Yeah.
So they would come. That's all they wanted to hear was hot tuna. And so
They didn't want to hear.
Yorma was a guitar player, and so when he showed up, you know, it was just him and a drummer. You know, he
That's
went out there and played. I think it was like about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Just him and a drummer.
That's it.
And then he played of course, prior to that, I guess he did a solo thing too.
Yep,
He
yep,
sat there
he
and played
did.
acoustic. It was double weird.
Behind it,
They were quiet,
they
very
had all
docile
the
during
psychedelic stuff. Well, I figured they're all tripping, you know.
Oh yeah.
But we were like, I mean, we were scared. I mean, we played that set, we made it through it, and we got the hell out of Dodge. But I remember seeing birds start popping up, and I was like, oh,
And you
here
could,
it
you
comes.
could hear the boo
You were
chorus
getting
come
ready.
up.
Man, hey, can I get a shield?
Right.
You know, I mean, it was nuts, but we got to play all over the country, and it was a lot of fun. Like I say, we thought we were going to do that for the rest of our lives. Tricks,
you
tricks on
kinda-
us.
You kind of have
We have
been doing it
You're
for
right.
the rest of your lives. You just hadn't been doing it
Full
in the
time.
same capacity. So when the doors at Capricorn closed, is that when everybody had to go get a real job? And I'm not saying being in a
No,
band
no,
is
no,
not a
no,
real
no.
job. That's not what I'm saying. But that's what musicians say all the time. I had to go get a real job.
Well, that's why I'll tell a story real quick. I was coming home one night in Warren Robins. We lived out in the country, and Shakey's, you remember the pizza?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Shakey's.
Well,
Jim
I
Kiefer.
was at that. Come on about 7:38 in the morning, about a year before the band broke up, and I'd never been out. You know, when we come to town, we're out in the country rehearsing all the time.
Right.
And then I come to town and go to a bar or something, hang out at night, and there's no traffic. And Warren Robins back then was small, but that morning there was a ton of traffic, and I was like, why? What's everybody doing? You know, what, you know, I didn't understand. About a year later, after we split up, I figured I found out. I really, I realized what they were doing. They were getting their ass up and going to work. And I had to get up at 7:15, go to work.
Right.
Got me a real job, and band wasn't a real job. It was, but it wasn't. But, and I started working in sales, and that's what we met. But that was the best thing that ever happened to me. Mm-hmm. In hindsight, now I can look back and go, they built a plaza, and he had the Stratos cleaners, and they sold all that.
Yeah.
He retired. Al's retired with the post office. Rob was in the Air Force. You got to ask him about that. But, he's retired. Mm-hmm. Bobby's retired, engineer. Everybody did okay. And if we hadn't gone to work, we may be playing down at the dang VFW for $100.
Yeah.
We all know nobody, don't make any money playing.
It's hard.
I'm real thankful and blessed and we still can play. If CB gets his health right, I'd love to go to the Capitol and do 2 nights. And if people come, fine. If they don't, invite Jimmy Hall from Whitwell and our Jimmy Hall to come out and some other folks and just do it because we could do it,
I remember one of my favorite times seeing you guys play was with the band of the U.S. Air Force Reserve at the Independence Day celebration, because I was so heartbroken when that band was dismantled.
Yep.
Because it was fantastic. But I remember the year that you guys played with the band, and it was fantastic.
What a fun experience, though. It really was. And I remember Dave Ballinger, that was kind of his brainchild. When I came, I had orders to Japan. I had to leave for a couple of years, and then I came back. And when I came back to the reserve band, he basically came up with that idea. So let's get Stillwater to do that. Because normally they have, somebody kind of
like just one person,
acts.
like they had Winona Judd.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or Josh Turner.
I think Gloria Gaynor might have come one year, and then just different acts. But we were blessed to be able to do that, and that was just a shock. That's kind of like what Mike was talking about, going to rehearse at the high school that time. Earlier, I don't know if that was before we started taping, but yeah, we went and rehearsed for it, and it turned out really good. It was a nice experience, but we had a great band. It was a nice tradition to have that every year, the 4th. Of course, they're carrying it on now, even though, it's a little bit different because the band's not involved with it, but they're still putting on those 4th of July concerts.
How long were you in the Air Force?
It was 26 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
I appreciate it. It was a wonderful way to serve, though. I have to admit, I was blessed to be able to do the music thing in there. When the group first broke up, when Stillwater broke up, I'd been talking to Randy Blatterman. You remember Randy?
Yeah.
And he was a guitar player that was out in the band at that time, at the Air Force Reserve Band. And we used to jam and all that stuff. And he finally came up to me and said, I'm getting orders to the Philippines, and if you're looking for a job, my slot's going to come open. And I started thinking about it. I said, well, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should try out for it. So he kind of helped me through it. God bless Randy, and we got it going, though. And so 26 years later, I'd been all over the place. I ended up not coming to the Robbins band, but I ended up going up to New England to the band at Pease Air Force Base, and the Air Force Band of New England, and did that. And worked in Boston for a while, Germany. Came to Robbins the first time, then went to Japan, came back to Robbins and retired. So I had a good run.
Justin, I remember I went to that show to see Stillwater play that Independence Day celebration with the band of the U.S. Air Force Reserve. And then about maybe, 6 or 8 weeks later, I go and see Causey and Rob playing at a doctor's office in the lobby.
Yeah.
Okay, so
you were thinking, what has happened?
No.
Anything for
I'm like, okay. You got to make money, right? So it doesn't really matter.
We probably didn't charge him anything.
Yeah, that was Doc Kennebrew, and it was a good buddy of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we had Dr. Kennebrew. So
I was there doing a radio broadcast, and you guys were in the lobby picking.
sitting
Yeah.
in the corner there.
Yeah.
Sitting in the corner
Yeah.
peeking.
I
You know what
remember-
I always wanted to do? This is weird, but we did some of that. We went down to Chick-fil-A and played one morning down there for a couple of hours just as background music,
Right.
and people come in and listen. They probably wanted us to get the hell out of there. It's like, I can't eat in peace. But we played and we raised money for, I think,
When did humane?
dogs or
Yeah, it's
something.
for the
Humane.
dogs. Yeah.
We raised a couple $100, I think.
Right.
But we did all that kind of stuff. I always wanted to go on the street and put a hat out and just play
And
something.
just play.
And just play.
And not even tell anybody who you are.
Yeah, yeah. Well, at Shakey's now, he wanted Jim Kiefer. I'd call on him when
Yeah.
I was in sales. He's like, man, y'all need to come down and play. Y'all need to come down and play. I said, okay, we will. So, but I said, you can't tell anybody. We're going to do word of mouth.
Mhm.
So we went down there and played some. And he was like, I want to advertise. I said, no, don't advertise. And that place was packed. But this was a long time ago. But it was,
yeah.
he's still got pictures of that. We just went there and played and just, had a great time. But people always came. It was, Warren Robins supported us a whole lot.
Yeah.
And it was, we did.
Justin might have you up to play at Dairy Queen one morning.
Yeah. You
We'll
never
play-
know what can
yeah.
happen around here.
He
Hey,
gets you
I want to
a
play here.
There you go.
gravy
Yeah,
biscuit.
there you go.
Yeah.
We can arrange for that too now. Got
There
the
you go.
stage
Yeah.
out back right there.
That's right.
Vicky,
Waiting on you.
Vicky had me playing. She had a wedding place,
Right.
Stevie's wife.
Mhm.
And she had all these friends getting married back then. And she said, Mike, and I was working 5 days a week. It was killing me, but I loved it. No, it was a blessing because I got to meet all these people.
Oh yeah.
But on Saturdays, I kind of wanted to rest, and Vicky said, Mike, so-and-so, a friend of mine get married. Say, will you play piano and do the Lord's Prayer? And it's a hard song to play. Girl at church taught it to me. It's in D flat. And it's really hard for me to
Oh,
play,
yeah.
but I could get through it. And Stevie would sing it. Now, if I messed up, he's out to lunch. But if I messed up, it kind of does like this.
Right.
It doesn't allow you to mess up. Some things you got to get away with.
Right.
But she was like, so we had to go play weddings at 2:00 in the afternoon on Saturday. Had to get dressed up, go, it's all, heard a dime drop is, so it's all. But I was like, Vicky killing me, I said, and they wouldn't pay us. We just go do it. But one day we were playing down at the Catholic church. Neil Suggs' brother Darren got married, him and Karen, and I went to play the Lord's Prayer. And right in the middle of it, I kind of forgot something. I just went and I threw Stevie, bless his heart. He sat down and he looked up over the piano at me like, what are you doing? What? Because it's hard for him to sing, and I just kind of messed it up.
That's a tough song.
Yeah,
man,
oh,
all around.
It is. And so that afternoon, we were supposed to come to Gray and play for a wedding.
Right.
And we rode up here. I said, Stevie, I don't drink much. I said, I got to have a couple beers before we do this again. Because,
Right. All
I
on the
done-
same day.
yeah, it's like missing a 3-foot putt. It's
Right.
like, oh, crap. Now I can't make anything.
Right.
I'm thinking I'm going to do this the whole time and throw him under the bus. But I finally told Vicky, I said, I'm retired. We can't do this anymore.
No more weddings.
Yeah, but we played. You're right. We played anywhere and everywhere.
And I
Still
really,
do, still
I really
do.
enjoyed that too.
Oh,
we
yeah.
do those little duo things. We just go play sometimes.
I got a text from a guy. He wants to play in November. He got a little party, a Christmas party, and we go over there every year and play for him.
Wasn't that the mind bender was the dueling guitars? I mean, it was that.
Well, not so much. It should have been.
Yeah, probably should have. We had other songs with, we had a lot of guitars.
A lot of songs with
Yeah.
a lot of guitars.
Yeah, oh yeah. We had, I Reserve the Right had a lot of guitars. A bunch
Yeah.
of them did. And we did a third CD in 1998. We just went to the studio and got Rodney Mills, and Rodney's the one that produced Skinner's last album, Survivors, and Street Survivors, and he engineered on all the Atlanta Rhythm Sections albums. He built Studio One. He also produced Anybody and Everybody, produced 38 Special, and he's down in Fernandina now. And so we did a CD with him at the Capricorn back in '98, and it sounds really good. I like it. Have to give y'all a copy. If you got a CD player, nobody has those anymore.
I have a CD player. I'm probably.
Oh,
In fact, I have about 5 of them.
do you?
And
That's awesome.
I
Oh, yeah.
bought
She bought me a Trisha Yearwood CD last
I
week.
did. I made it. I made it.
And I don't even have all my vehicles. None of them have a CD
Isn't
player.
that-
in them.
you
I
know, I
don't
don't
own
either.
one.
That's terrible.
Yeah, we went to Trisha Yearwood's autograph signing up in Monticello for her album release. And I had already ordered one. And then I made Justin buy two. Well, he had to buy two. And yeah, I didn't know he didn't have a CD player. I bought a car in 2019. It was a 2015 Honda CRV. And I was devastated because it didn't have a CD player in it.
Yeah.
Well, about 2 months after I had the car, my boss comes to me. He goes, I have a friend who's got this same car, and there's a hidden CD player.
Oh, really?
And there is. So you push the button at the bottom, and the whole screen lifts up, and there's a CD player.
Wow, really?
That's
Yeah.
cool.
So I can never buy another car because I cannot imagine having a car without a CD
I
player.
bought a new car back in early spring. It doesn't have a CD player.
Yeah.
And I'm bummed out.
I just
you
can't
know?
do
I
it.
mean, I still, you know,
Oh,
won't
yeah.
listen.
Right.
We
Yes,
got a
it-
CD from us playing with Rob, or his second job with us.
Oh man, that was great.
Tell him about it, Rob.
Oh, that was so cool. I remember they just came down and got me out of college. You know that
Yeah.
story though. And then we had played one time. First gig was at the college where I just left, and then the next gig was at a place it's called a Pub on Green Street in Warner Robins. And I remember that night, you know, I was nervous as all get out because it's the first time I played in front of a hometown crowd with Stillwater. But yeah, that recording turned out awesome.
Yeah.
It was unreal. It was like just recorded by
Yeah.
Mike's cassette player. It
Little
was
cheap-
sitting on top of the
little cheap
board,
one.
I think.
Right.
But it's amazing what, you know, it's a testament how good of a sound man Billy Wint was, because he has everything. You could hear everything.
Sounded great.
Yeah, you just will have to get you a copy.
I got a copy in the car.
Gosh,
But it
man,
was
it's good.
Billy had a little cassette that one of them kind, and you probably too young, but you push a button and it pop open.
I remember.
Slide the cassette in
Yeah.
and shut it.
Oh, yeah.
He recorded us with one of those off the board, and we listened to it. That's 50 years ago,
It's unbelievable.
1975, and there's Donald Walker on the club down there, and it sounded and I took it to a guy in Dublin, Gillis, and he put it off. He took it off set, put it on CD, and we were just stunned. It was like, man, that sounds. I mean, it really sounded great.
really good.
That's 50 years old.
Yeah.
So
It's worth
You
it just to listen to that. You hear all those little quips that CB makes in between the
Stevie's
songs.
playing drums and he's singing, and Jimmy, I mean, they're killing it. I mean, it sounds really, really good. And it's just amazing. Rob playing with us, and everybody's playing good. I mean, I really enjoy listening to that.
I do too. Oh man, God bless you for getting that one together.
That was just, and Billy recorded us all the time. He wound up working with Atlanta Rhythm Section doing their sound. Then he retired. Nothing retired. He got a real job like the rest of us and went to work over at Georgia College. And he's retired now, but he recorded a ton of stuff, you know. And now, country-wise, you had somebody I always loved that probably came to the station was
Leroy Parnell. I already knew what you were going to say.
Man.
I love Leroy. You know,
He-
and I never listened much to country back then.
Right.
And then I started listening to country. I said, hell, that's not a whole lot different from what we're
No,
doing.
it's not. He definitely had that Southern rock sound, and he did come to the station a couple of times. He's another one, and I actually went with him to visit Dwayne's grave.
Okay.
And,
Wow.
because he came during the daytime and was on. I think he was there on the morning show, and
Yep.
And then we took him out there and went to lunch, and then we went to see Dwayne's grave. I think we went to H&H, as a matter of fact. But Leroy is an amazing guitarist.
And songwriter and
Yes.
singer.
Yeah.
I mean, his albums kill me. And the melodies and the words. I mean, he's just written some, and he's a great player. I mean, I don't know what he's doing right now. He's out playing some, I think. And what a great, and you know, that's why I started listening more country, because other stuff was, you know, it kind of went south to me.
Right.
And, but I was that, you know, there's a lot of, you know, Hank Williams Jr. isn't far from Skinner. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you think musically a little
Right.
bit, you know, they're not a whole lot different. in my mind, but it's Leroy was just awesome.
Yeah.
You knew I was going to say that.
I just knew I knew immediately where you were going with. I mean, when you said when you started, because I was thinking, okay, country, southern rock together. That's Leroy. That's Kentucky Headhunters. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
just
exactly.
you know, certain groups.
You know, you remember Bailey, don't you? Bailey
Yeah.
Pryor. Bailey's working for Brad Paisley now.
Oh,
He's been working for Brad for years. And when they had COVID, Brad kept him on payroll, even though they weren't working.
That's
So
awesome.
he's working. He's out right now with him, but he'll work 2 or 3 to 5 weeks and then come home. He got a good job. I mean, good gig.
well, Stillwater's not together, but we're hoping for a reunion show. We're praying for CB
Yep.
as he goes through all this stuff. And we would love to see a Stillwater reunion. But if you just wanted to hear Mike Causey or Rob Walker play guitar, you can find them somewhere in Warner Robins on a Friday night
Right.
Yep.
or a Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Thursday
Okay.
night, yeah, there you
We
go.
go play with Trey's Hombres. They
Okay.
play down as guys have been playing as long as we have, and they're great players and great singers and just
I've heard of them.
great
Yeah.
grooves. Ron Johnson, Tony Elmore.
And those guys were in a band. We actually played some of their music on the radio. They had one song
Yep.
that we played on the radio. What was it?
Falling.
No.
Nope, it was something else. Which was it? What was it? I don't remember.
Oh, I can't believe I don't remember because
Was
I
that
played it
Sugar
a
Creek
million
then?
times. Huh?
Was that Sugar Creek then?
Sugar Creek, yes.
That was the band.
That's
but
the band. They
I
were
can't remember the
Sugar
song.
Creek.
Yep.
What was the song? Oh,
That's terrible.
That's gonna make me
It'll come to you
crazy.
in about 30 minutes.
it'll come to me in about 30 minutes. But anyway, Mike and Rob get together with those guys and jam on Thursday nights. What's the name of that place?
It's called La Cabana. It's in the Stadium's Landing Plaza. It's
Okay.
Right off 247. And they got a Mexican restaurant. They go down and play from about 6:30 to about 9. And we sneak in there and play with them a little bit. And just so much fun. I mean, it's a treat to be able to do that.
Yeah.
You know,
They know so much. They know every song.
they know every song there ever was.
ever was. That's it. They can do it. And then it's fun. And they're just old friends. You know, we get to play with them every now and then.
Yeah, they've been playing forever. I mean, they're just really good.
It's pretty fantastic when you think about it. So you're not rich. You're almost famous.
There you go.
And you've gotten to do what you love all this time.
Yeah.
So really, it doesn't get any better than that.
No,
I mean, I
sure
guess,
isn't.
you know, if you,
I'm scared to think if we just kept playing, because even if you did really well, it only lasts a certain amount.
Yeah.
Right.
And so everybody's got their highs and lows.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're 20, it didn't matter. But when you're 50 or 40 or whatever, it's hard to be on the road, going somewhere every night, and, you just health-wise, it's not conducive to good health. And we get to go home, sleep around on beds, and, and that's kind of nice, I'm kind of favor of that.
Yeah, that's right.
And I stay up at night. I go to bed at 2 o'clock. I mean, I say
Right.
if you take the clocks away from me, I go to bed 3 in the morning, get up at 10. That's about what I do.
Right.
I get up a little earlier now. I don't know why, but I wake up and it's like, what am I waking up for?
Well, they say when you get old, you start waking up early, man.
Well,
You
that's
might be getting there.
I'm old.
It might be. Yeah,
I'm
there you
old
go.
because I'm waking up like, God, why am I waking up at 8 o'clock? I don't want to get up at 8 o'clock. Now I stay up at 2 playing guitar.
Right. There
You
you
know.
go. That's right.
And now I can get YouTube on my TV, and I'm like, oh, you can look up anybody. I look up, Jack Pearson or Allman Brothers or whatever, and it's right there. You can go.
All
Play
kinds of
right,
stuff.
play right along with them.
Yeah, I try to. And there's no play with those guys.
Oh, yeah.
They're just too good.
Well, this is definitely an open invitation. If y'all ever want to jam out here for real, I've got the best sound system in the whole wide world. We'll stand up
Man.
there for you guys.
he really does.
You got a
And-
great sound
Oh, man.
He's got some sound.
And we will have us a little shindig out here whenever you
system. Right here seems to be the place.
It
to set
is.
up.
It
Well,
is.
that's
That's
kind of a
good.
natural stage right
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
Oh, well,
Plus-
that stage behind you over there, that's actually hardwired with its own sub panel box to run
Yeah.
electricity with. And we've got all the power right there you could possibly
You
want.
did a good
We
job.
We need to do it this fall, and man, just let's do it.
Only thing about that to me,
You might fall in the pool.
They fall in the pool, but damn, that sunlight will burn you up.
Oh, we do it in the evening. Let's do it in the
Okay, I
evening once
got
the sun
you.
goes down. I
Yeah.
think we need to do it, for our Georgia game Saturday something.
We
Let's
may
do
have
it.
to come up here
man.
and practice.
Yeah,
That's right. We did-
Go over stuff.
yeah. Well, y'all got the time. I got the stuff.
You got the
Man, you are the
got
man.
place.
Thank you.
There you
You
go.
definitely got the place.
We really, really appreciate you guys coming out and spending this
Sure
time with
appreciate
us.
you, Laura,
Thank
man.
y'all for having us.
Mike
man.
Causey, Rob Walker, Stillwater. I would
Love it.
love to see a Stillwater reunion
Me too.
in the next. What are
Year.
you thinking? Sometime in the next year?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Awesome. Well, as always,
Thank y'all for having us.
yes, sir.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you guys for coming, no doubt. And as always, if you can do something good, you should do something good. We'll see you on the next episode.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Man, that was perfect, y'all.
That was
job.
really
That's fun.
that was really cool.